As restrictions relax again, I'm travelling across the UK to see how ready the country's top attractions are, to meet the people getting us excited about travel again and hear their plans for the new normal. My first stop is a couple of hours train ride from the capital.
So I'm in Bath. Now what do I know about the city? Well, it's a spa town and it's super famous for its Roman baths. I used to get really busy with coach tours coming from London, and I think it's one of the most romantic cities in the UK. So let's go.
I'm told that the perfect way to start my day in Bath is with a Sally Lunn bun. So I've arranged to pick one up with a local photographer who'll help me get my bearings.
The actual recipe of the Sally Lunn's bun comes along with the deed of the house itself, so you can only get the recipe if you own the house, and they've been making them there since 1680. Oh, I can't wait to try. I've got lemon curd. I've got the classic cinnamon butter. It's actually really good. But really good, yeah. So Alicia, what was Bath like during COVID and the pandemic? It was weird, to be honest, because Bath is known for its tourism, so you're used to seeing the streets full of people and visitors from all over the world. For me as a photographer, it had a bit of a silver lining because it meant that I could go out and get these really amazing photos of the city that were impossible to do before. But are you ready for things to go back to normal now? Yeah, definitely. You know, I've had the bit where it was quiet and now I'm ready for the people to come back. All right, so I have one day in Bath. What are the main spots to hit? There's the Roman baths and the Thermae Bath Spa that both use like the ancient water, and it's what Bath got its name for. The architecture in Bath is also really famous, so I'd recommend going up to the Royal Crescent, for example. Also Bath Abbey is really popular. Have a walk around and take in the city as well, because it's really pretty.
Clearly I'm sport for choice, but I know where I want to hit first. The ancient Roman bathhouse, which has been on this site for 2,000 years.
So check this out. See the water bubbling up? That's water coming straight from the King's Spring, which runs under the city, and the thermal waters go straight into the Roman baths.
The year before COVID, 1.3 million people visited the site, but during the pandemic, numbers fell by over 70%. Things are beginning to pick up again, though, with the Centurions back in town.
So what's your name then?
My name is Marcus Aufidius Maximus. Very pleased to meet you.
Oh, and what brings you here?
Well, I'm here recovering primarily from my wounds I suffered north of the frontier.
And just remind me what year it is?
It's 213 AD.
Okay, so with the exception of my new Roman friend, you can't swim in the Great Bath anymore. But across the road, you can still experience the same natural spring with a dash of chlorine.
Well, this is certainly a step up from how the Romans did it. Am I right that this is rainwater that fell in 8000 BC?
Yes, that's correct. And it fell around 10,000 years ago and permeated through to the hot rocks about 2 kilometres, and it's gushing out at about 1 million litres a day.
Have you had to adjust how many people come in compared to before?
Certainly during sort of the early restrictions, we could only welcome half of the guests that we would normally be able to welcome. And I think the interesting thing about the restrictions and changes during COVID, some of those measures we've kept in place because they actually improve the customer experience.
Well, after a relaxing spa, I need to step up the pace, so I've hired an electric bike to get me to my final spot in time. The 18th century Royal Crescent is a must-see destination in Bath. It was even a central location for the recent smash hit Netflix series Bridgerton, bringing a renewed screen tourism here. But the restrictions of the pandemic haven't made things easy for the museum at No. 1 Royal Crescent.
Thomas, my dear, as I assured you, the house would not be so dusty as last
We have
season.
talking mirrors.
Now, modern technology melds into this Georgian house for a completely new visitor experience.
Here, a Georgian family were having breakfast, and we got to hear a little bit of their conversation.
For your sister, seeks a good match.
And that intelligent.
So what adjustments have you had to make since reopening?
Well, the impact of the pandemic meant that we lost 90% of our income overnight, and also had to completely transform the way in which the museum operates. We used to rely a lot on volunteers.
So these projections, how did they come about?
We were lucky, we secured a cultural recovery grant, and that funding has enabled us to bring in new technology to create these film and soundscapes through the house. And the other important thing about what we've created here is the infrastructure investment means we can create lots more different stories. One of the things that was really important to us is that we think about Georgian life, that luxury, that wealth, but also being very open and honest about where it came from, and really the reality of the transatlantic slave trade, what that meant for Bath, what that meant for the people that were living here, and make sure that we were being very transparent about those connections and then enabling our audiences to form their own opinions about that.
It seems Bath is more than ready to have its visitors back, with high hopes that this summer will see at least half of their international tourist numbers return.
Well, my whistle-stop tour of Bath is complete. It's been beautiful, it's been historic, it's been delicious, but the sun's setting, so it's now time to catch my train home.